Your Excellency, thank you so much for taking the time to sit with us today. As a first question, can you please tell us about your diplomatic career to date?
So I started my career in the foreign ministry 36 years ago. And then my first posting was in Paris. It was in the 94 until 98, and then moved then again to Jakarta, and then back for the posting in the Budapest until 2005. Back again in Jakarta for another assignment in Jakarta. And then I was being posted in Tokyo, Japan. So it was 3 years in Tokyo, but it was then in 2011. It was actually during the tsunami. After the tsunami, I've been promoted as the Deputy Chief of Missions or Vice Ambassador at the time, and then continue my assignment in San Francisco as the Consul General of Indonesia in San Francisco for about 3 years. And then back again, but I was assigned by the ministry to the other ministries, the Ministries of Tourism and Creative Economy, as the director for the marketings and the director for the investment. And then this is my last posting, then the 5th posting I have as a ambassadors of Indonesia to these beautiful countries of Bahrain.
Can you firstly tell us how the Indonesian Embassy supports the Indonesian community in Bahrain, and also what consular services that the embassy offers for them?
We have 6,975 Indonesian residents who are reside here. I think the last 2 years, the numbers is never changed. Our staff is only 40, so the rest is the Indonesian communities. And we have a lot of the event like, during the Eid al-Adha, during the Eid al-Fitri, that we get together here with the Indonesian community. You know that 400 people are coming during the Eid al-Fitri. So they are praying here. And after that, they have a meeting with all the Indonesian communities. But other than that, we also have here the associations, the Indonesian community, what we call it, the Indonesian Diaspora Network. They have badminton communities, they have football communities, also they have a ping pong community. So a lot of activities we also support for them. I also pay respects and highly appreciate what the Bahrain government does during the pandemic of it. They help us a lot with the Indonesian community with the vaccine. That's the thing that has to be underlined. But other than that, the LMRA, the immigration, the police is always helping us.
Excellent. Can you tell us about the current state of relations between Indonesia and Bahrain, and any particular recent developments that you think worthy?
We have 5 ASEAN embassy here. So in every countries who have the ASEAN embassy, we have what we call the ASEAN Committee. So we have ASEAN Committee Manama Bahrain. While in Indonesia, we have Bahrain Indonesia Business and Friendship Society. That was the 2 organizations who are always supporting us in the cultural event or even the business event that we're going to have. The most important is that from the economic side. So every year we are having Trade Expo Indonesia. It was one of the biggest events like you have in the Dubai. So this is one of the biggest events in Southeast Asia in ASEAN. Every year we invite a businessman from Bahrainese. And last year it was 11 Bahrainese businessmen and businesswomen are joining them. The commitment they have for buying during those 1 week event in Jakarta is about 4.5 million US dollars. But we have more than that in terms of the attractions, in terms of the opportunities that you're going to have with the Indonesia. But the issue is you don't have direct flight. Bahraini Gulf Air and Indonesian Garuda has already opened their direct flight since '94. But then in 2009, they are closing for specific reasons. But now we are trying to open again from the Bahraini side, to open the Gulf Air, to facilitate the movings of the tourists and also business group to Jakarta, and also as well as the moving of goods and the cargo to Jakarta or vice versa. So that kind of thing that is benefit not only to Indonesia, not only to Gulf Air, but also to the Bahrainese tourism industry.
Obviously, sustainability and the environment is one of the major topics of the world today. So what is the relationship between Indonesia and Bahrain in terms of the climate and green energy and sustainability going forward, and also within your embassy itself, how do you sort of maintain green practices?
both of our countries really support what the SDGs mean for us, because this is the only things that how to preserve the green economy as well as the preserve of our natural resources that always last fast than we are predicting. All of the international forum with regard to the SDGs, the government is always support. Even during the G20 in Bali, they were introduced the EV as the means, travelings around Bali with all the delegation.
So moving on to obviously the major topic of this time of year. So it's the Independence Day of Indonesia coming up on the 17th of August?
On the 17th of August.
What message do you have to share to the Indonesian community in Bahrain on this occasion? And also what events, or if any, does the embassy have planned to celebrate?
First of all, I would like to thank to His Majesty's, His Crown Prince, and also the government for not only with regard to our bilaterals, but more on the people-to-people context with their support to our communities and also the message of congratulations that they're going to send to us. But this is the important is that the communities, Indonesian community here, are very happy because they think that this country is like Indonesia. And the second thing is that we're going to have the National Days receptions in the 26th of this coming September, as well as activities like sport activities and then community activities among our communities started last week until the end of the August.
When your ambassadorship eventually ends here, I'm not sure how many years left, maybe 2-3 years, for example, what do you want when you leave and hand over to your successor? What do you want your legacy in Bahrain to be as the representative of your country in Bahrain?
He or she, the next ambassador, have to know that Bahrain is different. Bahrain is one of the most countries that are really humble, the nations, not humble in terms of the religion, but humble in terms of the government-to-government relations and the communities, as well as a lot of opportunities going to be seized by opening up our efforts, opening out our initiatives with regard to the economic sectors. And one of the ways is we have to have a direct flight. We have to have more farm trip to Indonesia, to Bali, or other than Bali, because Indonesia is more than Bali. We are one of the G20 countries. We are the only countries in Asia that already sent about 30,000 troops in our peacekeeping missions, in the 50 peacekeeping missions throughout the world. And other than that, it's like Bahrain, we would like to be known as a peace-loving countries.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. It's been a great pleasure to sit and interview with you, so thank you.
Okay.
And happy Independence Day to Indonesia.